Yeah, the beauty of this team just getting healthier and healthier. You just got more and more options to go to out there on the floor, on both ends of the floor for Oklahoma City. But the term that I wrote down from Coach Dagnall, Royce, I don't know about you, no agenda basketball by the Thunder. Great spirit in this game. He said it wasn't our most precise game, but I like the spirit that we played with.
Yeah, he talked about the intensity and the intentionality of the team. And again, that's something that was kind of the storyline coming into a game like this, where you're playing a team like the Utah Jazz that's young and they're rebuilding, and that you can kind of lose focus and you can come out slow like a turtle and not really get into your action. But when you really come out with a focus and an intensity, even if you're making some mistakes, the intentionality is there, and it can build up to good possessions throughout the entire game. And for this Thunder team, so much of it, we see it all the time. They try to play as hard as they can with as much focus as they can. And that's why they play so consistently over 82 games. And they've done it for a number of years now, which is quite remarkable.
Yeah, this team operates with just such surgical consistency. You wouldn't know what time of year it is with the energy that they're bringing out there on the court. They have a standard that they try to reach to every single night. Certainly got there in this matchup against the Utah Jazz here tonight. All right, stick with us here on Thunder Live. When we come back, we're breaking down the game of Chet Holmgren. 21 points, 4 made threes in this matchup. Picked up their 8th consecutive win against the Utah Jazz, and it was done in dramatic fashion, 146-111. And after the game, our very own Nick Gallo caught up with Chet Holmgren.
Chet, this is the kind of game that can test your focus and professional habits. What's so consistent about the way that this team shows up every single night?
At the end of the day, every single night we're playing against the opponent, but, we're also playing up against our standard, and, we lived up to our standard today, and, we just got to keep getting better.
Especially seemed like that on the offensive end. 40 assists, that's a season high. How critical is this to be able to develop a rhythm at this stage of the season?
No, it's great. I feel like we do a great job every single night of finding each other and looking for each other, and tonight, a lot of our looks went down, and we just got to keep that rolling, keep that rhythm going in the right direction. And, I think it will.
Yeah, you're a great beneficiary of that. So efficient, everything at the rim or behind the 3-point line. How much of that it goes into your head as you're entering a game in terms of trying to get those types of shots?
It's great. I just know if I move to get open, find space, my teammates are going to find me in good spots like that. And then it's just on me to finish the plays. So, again, great team basketball, and we got it done tonight.
And Mark always talks about these stretches, longest homestand of the season, to get better through it. How do you feel like this group has improved over these last 5 games here at home?
A lot of ways. We've just cleaned up little things, whether it's our transition offense or, some of our rotation stuff on the defensive end. Just seeing where we can get better, watching film, improving them game to game, and, we got to keep that going.
Thanks, Chet. Congrats on the win, and happy Easter.
Appreciate you, Gallo.
Yeah, great stuff there from Chet Holmgren and Nick Gallo. Chet finishing the night with 21 points and 4 blocks, a complete two-way performance. That is why he is our forward player of the game. And Royce, he got it going from behind the 3-point line to start this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Chet Holmgren looked in rhythm, and he did it both ends of the floor like we talked about, Paris. Just the incredible ability that he has. Nick was talking about the play finishing that he has, the way that he can just manipulate and make so many different plays throughout the game on both ends of the floor. Very unique the way he plays. I love this 3. This was kind of a quick decision, in rhythm 3. Didn't think about it a lot. You could tell that Chet was kind of feeling it. And I also just love that he pointed out that the transition offense for the Thunder was operating at a very high level. The shell defense was in a great spot. That's where he was a beneficiary, in the right spot at the right time, and a highly efficient night for Chet Holmgren.
Efficiency has really been one of the areas that has always been highlighted when it comes to Chet Holmgren. He doesn't need a lot of shots to go out there and make an impact in the game, and yet he does so every single night.
I mean, it's what makes him such a unique player in the NBA, and you need guys like this. You need guys that are operating within their role and in their system. But, I mean, Chet Holmgren is a star-level player that plays with the mindset to do his job, to do what it takes to win, and, contribute in so many different ways on the floor. We've seen him grow as a rebounder. We've seen him grow in his ability to take advantage of mismatches. Of course, the rim protection, the shot blocking, all that stuff is absolutely elite.
Yeah.
But Chet Holmgren is an improving player, and he does it because he's got the right mindset, because he wants to be additive to every lineup that he plays within.
It's so interesting. Coach Dagnall always talks about, it's easy to forget that Chet Holmgren, he's still a developing player, but he's been so impactful that it's sometimes hard to remember that fact. But Chet continuing to improve and continuing to impact games left and right, certainly did so here tonight against the Utah Jazz. After this, the Thunder set out on their final road trip of the regular season. They're heading out to sunny Los Angeles to take on the Lakers for the second time in 3 games. More on this matchup and what you need to know when we come back after this. What a way to wrap up this 5-game homestand for Oklahoma City. A dominant 146-111 victory over the Utah Jazz, now stretching that home win streak to 12 consecutive games. Well, a few games remain on this regular season schedule, and it includes the final road trip for Oklahoma City, who after this is going to head out to the West Coast to take on the Los Angeles Lakers on Tuesday before facing the Clippers on Wednesday, and then rounding out their road trip in Denver to take on the Nuggets on Friday. And then they return home for their final game of the regular season and the final home game of the regular season on Sunday as they square off against the Suns. So the next challenge for Oklahoma City, it is the Lakers, a team that the Thunder just faced here inside of Paycom Center a couple of days ago on Thursday. And you might remember that game because it was a very dominant performance by Oklahoma City, a 43-point win. And this Lakers team that the Thunder is going to face out in LA is going to look a little bit different than the one that they faced here a few days ago. No Luka Doncic, no Austin Reeves, but they still have a guy. His name's LeBron James that you really can't underestimate.
Yeah, unfortunately, those injuries to the Lakers, really tough spot in the season for those 2 injuries to happen because those are 2 major players, Austin Reeves, Luka Doncic, so important and impactful in creating their offense. But you said, I mean, they've got the all-time leading scorer in LeBron James, and it's going to be a little bit of a challenge for the Lakers because LeBron has done an exceptional job of really adjusting his role to become a little bit more of a facilitator and a third option. But now, as we know, Paris, he is certainly capable, even at his age, to elevate into a great scoring player. And that'll be a little bit more of his role. He'll be a lot more on the ball, have to create the offense a little bit more. The Lakers do have some good shooting options. And LeBron has always been one of the most elite players in NBA history at creating open threes for his teammates. So the ball will probably be in his hands a lot more than it has been lately. But I'm sure LeBron can snap back into that mindset pretty easily.
Another wrinkle to this, if you just want to zoom out a little bit for Oklahoma City, you're toggling back and forth between play styles. You go up against a team like tonight in the Utah Jazz, who are a very fast-paced team. They like to get out into the open court. They move the ball quickly. And then you got a Lakers team. They want to play slow. They want to be in the half court. So the ability to go back and forth and be adaptable is going to be a good test.
It's a great point. And as we saw in the game just the other night, the Lakers play as much zone as anybody in the NBA. They are not a strong defensive team, but they found a little bit of an identity by playing a lot of zone, trying to keep teams out of the paint, trying to make them shoot over the top of them. They may adjust some of that even too, because, you know, Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves, some of that zone purpose was to kind of try to accommodate for them. So maybe they adjust their scheme. So it could be a different look and something kind of unexpected that the Thunder will have to deal with when they play the Lakers.
Nonetheless, a really good test for the Thunder as they head out on their final road trip of the regular season. 3 games on the road, and it starts out in Hollywood, squaring off against the LA Lakers. That game tips off a little bit later. Got to stay up late with us here in the Central Time Zone. 9:30 p.m. Central. Thunder Live will get you going 30 minutes early at 9 p.m. Be sure to tune in on Tuesday as the Thunder squares off against the Lakers. But what a way to wrap up the longest homestand of the regular season. 5 games here at home and 5 wins for the Thunder, who have now racked up 12 consecutive home wins and 8 wins against the Utah Jazz. 7 players in double figures, a season high in assists, threes, and points. And until next time, thanks so much for tuning in. Have a great rest of your night.